just to start off, how did you get into playwright, and like, what are some of the inspirations that you draw from?
How did I get into playwriting? Oh, it's something I've done since I was in undergraduate. Um, I don't know how I got into it as such. I was a theater major as an undergrad, and I wrote my first play when I was 21, and we staged it at the university that I was a student at. Um, so yeah, I just started playwriting then. Inspirations. Well, I draw inspiration from all sorts of things. Books that I read or other plays that I've seen that I really like, and I want to try to write a play of my own that might be in the spirit or the style of another play that I've seen. That's a good way of being inspired by other writers, is maybe you want to try to achieve what they've done. And so you try to create your own work to be in that same sort of spirit.
Cool. If I could ask, do you remember the name of your first play that you've ever written when
Yeah,
you
of
were
course.
21?
It was an adaptation of Joseph Conrad's book, The Heart of Darkness.
And what was it about? Like, if you could give me like a brief story or a brief
Have you read the
summary of it.
book?
I have
You
not
don't
read the
know the
book.
book. Oh, the book is about a man, an Englishman, who journeys into Africa during the time of colonization there. He goes into what is today the Congo, that country. And his mission is to try to arrest or perhaps rescue another Englishman who is there. And so it's about that journey.
Okay, cool. Um, so from all the time that you've been in playwriting, what are some of the most memorable experiences that you've had, like as directing or as acting or as a playwright in general? What are some of the most memorable experiences you've had in this field?
Oh, every play is special, whether you've written it or directed it or been part of it as an actor. Every time that you create a piece and share it with an audience, it's memorable and special and exciting and fun. I suppose some of the ones that are most dear to me are ones where I've been able to travel and go to other countries and see my work presented. Either maybe another group there has performed one of my plays and I've gone to see it, or in some occasions, I've worked on my plays in other countries. And that's always a lot of fun because you meet a lot of new people, you live and work in a different environment, and it's very exciting.
Would you say it's kind of similar to, the film world? You know how film production is. Are there similarities with playwright and film?
Oh, I imagine. I don't practice film myself, so I don't have a lot of experience with creating a film and being able to compare it to writing a play as such. But I imagine there are a lot of similarities between the two. They're both forms of artistic creation. Many films and many plays are narrative based. In other words, they're telling a story with characters that make something happen and something occurs during the course of the piece. So I suppose they're similar in those ways. Of course, a big difference with film and theater is that film is not live. So when you create a film, you're not in front of a live audience. You don't feed off their energy in film the way you do with a live play, which is always put on in front of a live audience. And that's got its own kind of magic to it that I should imagine is lacking in film, though maybe that magic occurs in other ways in film. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's a big difference.
I can imagine that having a live audience in front of you makes you think about your acting much differently rather than when you're, performing in front of a camera, you have multiple takes. Whereas, a live audience, you have one shot, right?
Yeah.
You have one shot to do it. So I don't know. It's probably a lot more tension. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never been in a play, but just my thoughts. Okay. So let's talk about the Kite Runner adaptation. So, so I've actually read that book. It's a fantastic book. And what inspired you to like take that to Broadway?
Well, I didn't take it to Broadway as such. I wrote the adaptation in 2006. So it's quite a long time ago now that I wrote that play, almost 20 years ago. At San Jose State, as you may know, my courses focus on issues of immigration. So my courses look at how immigrants are represented through theater, literature, and film. And specifically within that, we spend a lot of time in my classes looking at refugees and asylum seekers and how those communities are represented through those forms of arts. That's what I teach here. And so Kite Runner, as you've read the book, so that's a story about a father and son who come to California from Afghanistan. And so when I read the book in 2005, I thought that it might make a nice play. And so I contacted the author and we started discussing it. Khaled Hosseini, who wrote the book, lives here also. And so we met and talked about those things. And then I started writing the play in 2006. And it had its first performance in 2007. And it's basically been in performance ever since then. Up until today, there's sort of always been a performance of Kite Runner somewhere, either on or in the works. So this particular one, which is going to open on Broadway in July, I didn't exactly take it there myself. These are some producers, both in New York and London, who thought that the show would be worth putting on Broadway. But yeah, it's quite an older, I suppose the thing to note is that I wrote the play a long time ago, and there's no relationship between the play and the film. You were asking me about film a minute ago. There's also a film of the Kite Runner, as you may know.
Yes.
And I wrote the play before the movie came out, and I'm not affiliated with the film in any way.
I see. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely have to take a look at the play. I mean, I've seen the movie, I've read the book, but I'm actually kind of intrigued now to see the play on Broadway, and I'm really interested in that. So,
are you going to see it?
I would be interested, honestly. I would love to. So I read the book like probably in middle school, but I read it a few times. But I've seen the movie, but yeah, I didn't even know that there was a play adaptation. So that's actually really interesting, and I would be interested in seeing that. So cool stuff. And then the final question is, what advice do you have to comm students pursuing theater on all sides, like acting, directing, writing, etc.? Not like all facets. What would you recommend to students?
Oh, what I would recommend to students who are interested in theater is just to do it. Find a community of people that you like working with and keep working with them. Just find a group of people. Maybe you're an actor, maybe you're a writer, you're a director, whatever your inclination is. And your inclination might change over time. You can move between those different things. Best thing you can do is if you find a group of friends, and maybe if you're lucky enough, you can start your own theater company with a group of people that you like working with, and just keep doing it. That'd be my advice.